Hi, this is Brandon from thirstgym.com. Today we're going to talk about an activity called the offset kettlebell kickstand RDL. This is a fantastic exercise to focus on the glutes, the hamstrings, single leg pattern, but also improve some mobility on the hip that's getting some work. So you are going to want a kettlebell for this exercise. It's going to make it a little bit more comfortable to be able to do it. If you really want to use a dumbbell, you could, but again, I would suggest a kettlebell with this. What you're going to do is you're going to take the kettlebell, whatever hand you have it in, the opposite leg is going to be the leg that's forward. So we're going to start with a contralateral load. You could also do this with an ipsilateral, just depends on what you're after. We'll talk about that here in a second. So left leg's going to be forward, right leg's going to be back, and what I want here is the back leg's going to be on the toe, the front leg knee is going to be slightly bent, palm is going to face our leg, and we're going to be in a nice square position here. I might even feel like I'm turned towards my up stance leg, which is totally normal. And then from here, we keep my chest nice and tall, foot flat, make sure I feel my heel on my front leg. I'm going to hinge, push my butt backwards, keeping my chest nice and tall, so I feel a good stretch here in my glute, my hamstring, and I'm going to drive my glute forward. Knee might stay bent just a little bit at that lockout position, but we're going to really try to drive that glute forward, really trying to create a big stretch in that hip. And notice that I'm just hinging about my hip. My front knee is not bending as I go to do the exercise. I'm just going to go right here. Then if we want to change this up, we want to go with the ipsilateral load. Essentially, I would keep the kettlebell here, and then my other leg would be forward. And what that's going to do is allow me to turn out of that hip. So I'm going to come hinge back, tall, drive my hips through, stay nice and square. So it doesn't really matter which arm that you use it in, just depends on what you're trying to get from the activity. So again, if you're wanting to try to get into a hip, you want to use a contralateral load. If you want to get out of a hip, so you want to work on maybe trying to change direction out of a hip, then you would want to focus on the outside, and that's going to try to get you out of that hip. So if you've got mobility restrictions, you probably want to use the contralateral load. If you don't have mobility restrictions, you want to improve your speed, power development side to side, you're going to want to use that ipsilateral load. Now you're probably going to do this for anywhere from 2 to 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps per side is probably a good sweet spot. You can certainly go a little bit heavier if you can control it, down to maybe 6 and maybe as much as 12 if you want some extra volume, but usually those hypertrophy ranges work pretty well. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section below. Thanks, have a great day.